Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. I'm Mads and this is Mads' Reading. Today is a very fun video. I am doing a book review in video form because this lovely book comes out on September 26th. So I just wanted to do like a fun non-spoiler review for y'all. So that way you guys know what it's about and I can get everybody to read this book because this book is so insanely good. So this is Thieves Gambit by Kayvion Lewis. It comes out September 26th, like I said, and this is actually the first ARC I've ever read. An ARC is an advanced reader's copy. I won this on a giveaway and I just had to read it. When I saw that they were doing a giveaway for this book, I knew I had to because it is about a thieving competition. And I know everybody loves a good deadly competition in books. This has it. I can't wait to just dive into this. It turns out when you get ARCs, they're not finished. They are still in the editing stages, and I honestly thought that was kind of cool. So I'm going into it and I have to keep an open mind. If you see a typo, it's gonna be fixed. I think I only ended up seeing 2 typos in this whole thing, and I'm honestly kind of impressed with that since it's still being edited. They're super small things. I know one of them was just didn't have the quote thing, commas, quotation marks. Thank you. I really love this book. I rated it a 4 stars. This book is about our main girl Rosalind, who goes by Ross, and she is from an infamous thieving family called the Quests. The Quest is their last name. Her mother kind of got separated from the main part of the family, but her mom and her aunt still do all these thieving missions, and they still get hired from these big people who pay big bucks. And I honestly just think that's so fun. And one day a job goes wrong for Ross and her mom, and to make up for kind of this mistake and to help, Ross has to enter the Thieves Gambit. The Thieves Gambit is this thieving competition where the winner gets granted 1 wish. And so Ross is hey, I don't actually want to do this competition, but I need that wish. So she decides to enter the competition and embarks on these crazy jobs, these thieving jobs. And there are 3 or 4 phases that we go through in this book, and each one I feel is just a little bit more crazy than the last. They all have their own aspect of thieving to it, I think, and I feel they're all just pretty different from each other. There's always a twist happening in one of the phases, and it just leaves you really on the edge of your seat. So each phase just gets more and more insane. In the Thieves Gambit, there are a whole bunch of these other characters who I feel are just so diverse. It feels each character is just from a different part of the world, and I honestly love that because it's so fun. You get one person from England, you get one person from Australia, there's one from, I think, South Korea. We have, let's see, what else? I don't remember where the other girl's from. I can't remember all the places where all the characters are from. One's from India. I do know that because she's kind of, I don't know, I kind of liked her. She was very entertaining. And one of them's from Vegas, and he was just, I loved Milo. Guys, Milo has my heart. So there's just so many diverse characters in this book, and I loved it. And they all kind of bring their own little thing to the story, and it's really fun. I think one of my favorite parts of this book were the characters. I loved Ross. I loved getting the story and her point of view because she was just such an interesting character, and I really felt for her at times. Girl's going through it. And then, guys, Devereaux gave me butterflies. I swear, this guy has game. His flirting game is on point, and I loved his little interactions with Ross, and they were just so perfect. I love Devereaux, and I just wanted to know more about him. You kind of get hints of him throughout the book, but you just want to dive into his character some more, and oh my gosh, it really just hooks you. Milo's another one of my favorite characters. He's just a fun guy who has an adrenaline addiction, basically. He's just addicted to adrenaline, and he's always doing these really dangerous things just to get that adrenaline going, and it typically doesn't end well for him, or it leads to him doing things that probably aren't that smart, but he tries to do it anyways. Kyung-soon was really fun too. I really loved her. I don't know, there's something about her. She reminded me of another character from another book, but I can't remember which one, and that really irks me because she was just so fun. I just want to be friends with her. I just really want to be friends with her because she just seems like such a fun person to hang out with, and she seems like she'd be super sweet but also has that little bit of edge to her that you never really see what's coming next, and I really just loved that. Noelia was honestly pretty iconic. I really did like her, and not gonna lie, I wish we got more of her character because you kind of see a little bit of this rivalship between her and Ross, and so you only get kind of one side of her story, but I really do want to know more about her because she's from another big thieving family, and I just think that aspect of a story is just so cool. I would read so many more books about infamous thieving families. That just sounds really amazing. So I wish we got more of her character. And then the other ones were pretty side characters. Lucas was really funny. I like, not funny, but just his character kind of made me laugh because he's like this big, tough, intimidating guy from Australia, and low-key wished we had more of him. I just thought he was really entertaining. I think he could have been a little bit more prominent in my opinion, and it would have worked out really well. Taeyu, I think that's how you pronounce his name. I'm really bad with names, but he was also a really interesting character. Anytime he was really in a scene, you kind of just want to pay attention to him just to see how he reacts and just how he acts in general, because he's just a very intriguing character. And you do get to learn a little bit about why he does things and who he is a little bit, and I just found that really interesting, and I really liked how he was written. And then we have Audra. You don't really get to see much of her, but I did think her character was also really intriguing, and I think it would be cool to learn a little bit more about her and Lucas, because you really don't get their backstories much, and I just thought that would be really cool to know. It's just really intriguing. Then we have Uriel, who is from South America, and she just seemed like a sweetheart. I loved her for that. And then we have the Count. She's kind of like the hostess of this whole competition. I want to know more about her. Like, I just really want to know how she got here, because you really don't get much about her. You do get some, but you don't get much, and I want to know more. Is that too much to ask? But it also makes sense because she's just kind of like almost like the antagonist, because she is running this competition that Ross doesn't really want to be a part of. But the character herself isn't really the antagonist. It's just the role that she plays. So I just think that was really interesting. All in all, love the characters. If a book has good characters, I will love it. Like, I don't even care about the plot much if the book has good characters, and this one definitely did. Though the plot also, guys, I was on the edge of my seat while reading this so many times. It's just so intense. Like, this book was actually giving me anxiety during some parts, and not like a bad anxiety, but just like a, oh my gosh, like what's gonna, like I need to know what's gonna happen next. I'm scared to find out kind of anxiety. Honestly, if a book can make you feel things, then that's how you know it's really good. They're always kind of putting their lives on the line for these little jobs that they're having to do. There's always these twists happening and chapters ending where you're like, I don't know what's gonna happen next, but I have to go to class, so I can't read to find out. I just loved so many aspects of this plot. It's such a thriller. And it's not really a thriller. It's such an adventure. And there's a lot of mystery aspects to this, and it's just insane. Not gonna lie, like low-key, it kind of gave me the same vibes as Kingsman, the movie. I don't know if you've heard of that, watched it. I don't know why, but I think it was just the competition with all these young people that it just kind of reminded me of the beginning of Kingsman, when they're all competing for a role in this society of, I mean, they're like secret agents. These ones are thieves, so it's a little bit different. I don't know why, but it kind of just gave me those vibes, and I feel like it doesn't make much sense, but to me it does. So that's where I am with that. One of my favorite scenes in this book, they have to like infiltrate, I'm not gonna give like spoilers because it hasn't come out yet, but they have to infiltrate a very fancy event, and they have to like dress up fancy, and I don't know why, but I just love when characters have to just dress up super nice and fancy to go do something dangerous or illegal. Like, I don't know why, that just intrigues me so much, but it does. It's always so fun. Give me more of that. I want to do that. That sounds fun. So I just really like the idea of these characters getting all like dressed up and having to go to this event, and it's just so entertaining, especially because once again, everything's always going wrong in this book. There's so much happening. There's always these twists. So many twists. It's insane. There's so many plot twists happening in this book. And it's just absolutely insane. Like, literally from the beginning to the end, there's just plot twist after plot twist. And I honestly loved it because it kept it so entertaining and it really kept you going because you really never know what's going to happen next, and it's just insane. I will say that near the end, I did kind of start to see what was going to be happening next. Not one part. One of it took me by complete surprise. Like, I shouldn't have been surprised, but I was. And it hurt. And if you read this book, you will probably understand what I'm talking about. But this other part, this other plot twist near the end, I kind of did see coming. And it just made a lot of sense, but I feel like I saw it coming in like a good way. Like, I think it built up to that moment really well. And I think things were revealed as they should be. And it wasn't just out of nowhere, like, where did that come from? It made a lot of sense. And so I saw it coming, but in a good way. I think it was just really well written how it carried out. The characters' relationships in this book I loved. I think that you really do get a hint, you get a little smidge, a little dash of found family in this one, or at least what could be the beginnings of one if things went a bit differently. I think the characters' relationships are so entertaining. I feel like there's a lot of different kinds of relationships in this book. You do get a dash of romance in this book, and it's really entertaining, and I loved it. Romance is not the main focus of this book, and I want to make that very clear, but you do get some very background romance happening, some mixed feelings, some I don't want to feel this way about this guy, but I do. It gives it another layer of entertainment, in my opinion. Like, you have these heists and you have this competition, but you also have this like other layer of problem, but it's an entertaining problem because it's romance. So if that makes sense at all. I just really loved it. I did end up giving the book a 4 stars. Okay, I am starting to switch my rating system up a little bit, and so I do need to go back and re-rate some of the books I've read in the past. But I gave this book a 4 stars, and honestly that is really good because I really did love this book. The only reason it wasn't a 5 stars is that I think the characters could have been a little bit more fleshed out. Even like the secondary characters, I feel like it would have been more intriguing to see them play a bit of a bigger role in it, and I would have really liked to see something from the other characters, but that also might just be a me thing. I'm not saying anything is wrong with this book. That's just something I really enjoy about books, and so that just kind of goes into my rating system. But all in all, this book is just absolutely amazing. It does have kind of a little bit of rivals to lovers, some very reluctant allies. It has the whole I don't want to feel this way about this person, but I feel this way about this person, so what do I do kind of trope. That might have a term to it, probably does, but I honestly love those tropes. It's entertaining. What other tropes does it have? Definitely deadly competition. You have a whole like childhood nemesis kind of trope happening in this one too, so if you like that, I think you would like a certain plot line in this book. A lot of familial themes in this one too, because Ross is very close with her family. She grew up thinking that she can only trust somebody from her family, which is basically just her aunt or her mom. And so there's definitely a lot of these themes with family surrounding it. There's definitely some identity roles playing in this because Ross is young. She's trying to figure out who she is, what she wants with her life. Does she want to keep thieving? This has been something she's grown up with, but does she want to continue it? And that's definitely a thought in her head throughout the rest of this book. And right from the beginning, it's just kind of one of the things that plays into this a lot. Those are the main tropes and themes I can kind of think about in this book that really stuck out to me. There might be some more that I might have missed or just forgot about, but those are the ones I can really think of. All in all, this book is just absolutely amazing. It is a YA mystery kind of thriller vibes. I don't know if you consider a thriller. I think I get confused on what is considered a thriller or not, and I think I need to do more research on that just so I know. This book is just about thieves, guys. It's about thieves in this competition. And if that's all you really take away from this video, I'll be happy with that because the fact that they are thieves and in a competition is what got me to read this book. It is told in first person, so I know some people don't like that. I know I personally don't love first person point of views, but I think this was really well done. Honestly, Kayvion Lewis, shout out to you. And I really hope there is a second book, because I think there really could be a second book, and there also could not be. Like, it would be good standalone, but it would also be a really good series, I think. If there's a second book, I'm begging you to tell me. That's my whole review for the Thieves Gambit by Kayvion Lewis. Please go check it out, pre-order it now. Thank you to Penguin Teen for hosting a giveaway so I can get this advanced reader's copy. And look at it, she's so pretty. I love the cover. I know I've seen 2 other different covers out there already, so this may not be the copy that you see, but I still really like this one and I'm glad I have it. I'm just really happy that I have an arc of this and I got to read it ahead of time. Thank you to Kayvion Lewis for writing this magnificent book, and I just really loved it. Was on the edge of my seat the entire time. Please go check out this book, and if you do end up reading it, please tell me. Like, I want to know your thoughts about it. I want to know what you think. That is all for this video. Thank you all so much for watching. I will see you all next week for my next video. Bye!